Welcome to Conflict News 24. Some news stories for you from East Congo and Russia-Ukraine conflict. Firstly, East Congo conflict where Kenyan troops arrived in Goma a few days ago. Now more Kenyan troops arriving, not in Goma, but they are entering East Congo from Uganda. Secondly, Rwanda, EU announced financial support for Rwandan defense force, Rwandan military today. Congolese news sources are criticizing EU's support for Rwandan military. Thirdly, we have a new story for you about presence of UN peacekeepers in some areas which are under the control of M23 fighters. We have a video showing M23 fighters and UN peacekeepers in Ratshoro. Fourthly, last night M23 announced that FARDC had broken the ceasefire which came into force on the 25th of November. Amnesty is criticizing M23 for civilian killings in Kashishe, and Congolese government has announced 3-day mourning for what happened in Kashishe. And secondly, Russia-Ukraine conflict, where we know that US provided HIMARS artillery rocket systems have been pain in the ass for Russians. HIMARS very precise, very deadly, inflicted heavy losses on Russian forces. Now, Russian military commanders on front lines claim that they have found a solution to counter HIMARS. Firstly, it was East Congo conflict where talks are underway to resolve the conflict in Nairobi, Kenya. At the same time, military preparations are underway for a possible military operation against M23 fighters. Regional forces are arriving in East Congo. In April, Kenya announced to send 900 soldiers to East Congo. Several hundred arrived in Goma city, and some Kenyan military convoys have been seen moving towards East Congo from Kampala, Ugandan city. These Kenyan troops from Uganda will enter East Congo. They might try to move towards Bunagana, which is on Uganda-Congo border, taken by M23 fighters a few months ago. It seems that Kenyan troops are making preparations for a military offensive on M23 fighters. Their deployment to Goma confirmed, but their advance from Uganda towards East Congo, maybe towards Bunagana, indicates that Kenya is planning a military offensive in collaboration with other regional players, regional forces against M23 fighters. We have a clip for you showing the movement of a Kenyan military convoy moving from Kampala, Ugandan city, towards East Congo. Watch this clip. Secondly, viewers, at a very crucial time when Rwanda is being accused of backing M23 fighters, EU has announced support for a Rwandan military. Though 2 days ago, EU countries, US, in joint statements accused Rwanda of backing M23 fighters and urged Rwanda to resolve the issue by disassociating itself from M23 fighters. But today, EU announced support for Rwandan Defense Force. 20 million euro support has been announced by EU for Rwandan Defense Force, Rwandan military. And we are seeing protest by some Congolese officials, Congolese news sources against this EU's announcement. They say that on the one hand, EU accuses or says that Rwanda is backing M23 fighters. On the other hand, EU is helping Rwandan military. Will EU continue with its, will it press ahead with its announcement of military aid for Rwandan Defense Force? That remains to be seen. Thirdly, viewers, M23 fighters have been seen with UN peacekeepers. A video is being shared from Ratshoro. Video shows M23 fighters and UN peacekeepers. It means UN peacekeepers are in some areas which are under M23 control. People are using this video to accuse UN peacekeepers of backing M23 fighters. We don't know if they're backing or not, but the video shows that like there is collaboration between FARDC and UN peacekeepers. Similarly, there is collaboration between M23 fighters and UN peacekeepers in Ratshoro. Watch the clip from Ratshoro showing both M23 fighters and UN peacekeepers. Fourthly, viewers, last night M23 fighters accused FARDC, Congolese military, of breaching ceasefire, which was announced on last Friday. On the 25th of November, ceasefire came into force. Before that, we know that in Luanda, Angola summit was held, and there it was announced that on Friday, 25th of November, ceasefire will be implemented. Ceasefire came into force. Largely, it was implemented. There were clashes near Kashishe in Bambo, but overall, situation was peaceful. But last night, M23 fighters issued a statement. They said that on the 1st of December, FARDC, Congolese military, FDLR, Rwandan fighters, Nayatra, Mai, ACPLS, all these forces and militias launched a joint attack on M23 positions in Kashishe. Heavy weapons were used. M23 says that ceasefire has been broken by FARDC, Congolese military, and that M23 reserves the right to self-defense. M23 fighters further said that they were ready to talk to Congolese government by direct talks. But the Congolese government is not going to hold direct talks with M23 fighters. Congolese government wants withdrawal of M23 fighters from areas under their control before the start of direct talks. Meanwhile, Congolese government has announced 3-day mourning for what happened in Kashishe. Government claims that M23 fighters killed more than 50 civilians in Kashishe village of Bambo. And that is why 3-day mourning announced. National flag will be at half-mast for the next 3 days, starting from Sunday. Starting from Saturday, rather. Amnesty International issued a statement today, viewers, and it also confirmed that reportedly M23 fighters were involved in civilian massacre in Kashishe Bambo. M23 denies. It says that the fighters killed in or near Kashishe were not civilians. They were members of militias, anti-Tutsi militias. That is why in fighting they were killed, and a false narrative is being built by Congolese government. Congolese government has announced its readiness to be part of international investigation into the massacre of civilians in Kashishe. Will M23 agree to some international investigation into the massacre which happened in Kashishe? That remains to be seen. And lastly, viewers, Russia-Ukraine conflict, where Russians say they have managed to find a solution to HIMARS. HIMARS are US provided artillery rocket systems, high mobility artillery rocket systems, very effective, very precise, with the range of 30-40 kilometers. And these HIMARS have been hurting Russian military. US is providing dozens of HIMARS systems to Ukraine, and Russian artillery is not as precise as Ukrainian artillery because of these HIMARS. But now a Russian military commander in Zaporizhia says that Russians have found a new update, and HIMARS missiles can easily be detected and destroyed by Russian systems. Did not share details which systems are being used by Russians to detect and destroy HIMARS missiles, S-23, Pantsir or other air defense systems. He did not share details. He only claimed that HIMARS had lost their effectiveness. And he claimed that in the ongoing week, his unit had took down around 4 HIMARS missiles. So HIMARS losing their effectiveness in Ukraine, Russia claims. Let's see. HIMARS were of big help for Ukrainians, and using HIMARS, they carried out some precise strikes on Russian military assets. But what this Russian commander says, is it true? That remains to be seen. If Russians have found a solution to HIMARS strikes, it would be a major advantage for Russia, because HIMARS stopped Russian advance. One of the reasons behind stopping of Russian advance obviously was introduction of HIMARS, though some other reasons too. But one of the reasons was precise strikes being carried out by US given HIMARS by Ukrainian military. Now Russians claim they have found a solution. Let's see. We'll update in coming videos about HIMARS. Are they still effective? That remains to be seen. Thank you for watching.